Good morning. This is Andrew Lowsutea, Vice President of the How are you? So happy to see many of our friends from now. We already started off from Hawaii. Thank you, Faye. Great to join us, Gordon, Eugene, and Edwina, and quite a few friends also from Canada, Vancouver, and some from Philippines. And maybe Eugene, can you see my through Facebook? If you can, give me a 2. If you see it on Facebook, it should be there too. If you want, maybe you can see that. So, okay, Eugene, can you check, see whether you see it in Facebook? Give me a 2 if you can. That would be wonderful. I know people can hear me well in the typical hookup on Zoom. Yes, okay, wonderful. Eugene can see me in Facebook, wonderful. Hey, let me share with you some of the things that we recently, quite a few of our customer had asked. One of the very frequent questions was saying, hey, you know, I went to a buffet and I eat a lot. And so then my sugar goes up real high. Can I drink some more Lowsutea during the time? And basically the answer is absolutely yes. You can drink more Lowsutea, especially at the time where you went on a big buffet and you really eat more. And so it's very important. Actually, you should drink 1 bag of Lowsutea, you know, with a 750 ml or 500 ml, whatever steeping you do, you got to concentrate. But you drink the whole thing, your blood sugar will drop very fast and really can at least maintain a very good level. And that's something that you should do. And on top of that, also some questions say, hey, you know, at nighttime, before I go to sleep, I have another 500 ml from the earlier steeping. Should I finish it up? And maybe, you know, like after dinner, I'll drink 1 cup, and after dinner, you drink another cup, is about 8 ounces or 250 ml. And that is also a very good idea because we found many of my clients who drank Lowsutea during the night, just a couple hours before sleep, the whole evening, the blood sugar has stayed in a neighborhood of 120 or below. Or in Hong Kong will be about 6 or 6.5, 6.4 around there. So it is going to help you throughout the night maintain a good Lowsutea level. So that will be a good practice to do that. So, you know, that will be something that I think will be very nice for all our clients to at least have a very good protection to protect themselves while they are in there. Hi, I'm Angela, Lowsutea President. 你好，多謝阿 Ted 香港朋友。OK， 嗱，好多朋友就問咧，如果我哋飲去糖茶，係咪如果食 buffet 食多啲嘢嘅時候，晏晝係咪可以飲多包咧，或點樣咧？嗱，其實如果你係真係食好多嘢晏晝或者嘅時間咧，你可以飲多1包。咁嗰度咧可以沖500 ml 或者係750 ml 啦。咁嗰陣時飲咗佢咧，就幫你啲糖咧係更加快降低嘅。咁同埋咧，你唔會就算你上咗去或者去到10或者11咧，好快脆咧就快脆跌翻落嚟咧，咁你有一個好啲嘅糖嘅指數啦，咁係 good for you 嘅 ，OK？So 同埋夜晚咧，如果你有些少大概有500 ml 啦，你做夜晚嗰個食飯嘅時候，你飲咗500 ml 啦，咁然後再500 ml 再點去飲咧？其實最好食完飯後咧，再飲埋佢，然後最好未瞓覺1個鐘頭前，亦都飲咗佢。咁你成晚嗰個血糖咧，都會係一個好嘅指數。咁幫助你咧，唔會夜晚高都好緊要。嗱，其實有陣時夜晚係會高嘅，尤其是好多時你瞓覺有 worry 嗰啲就高啦。So you know, also I found out that was very interesting, especially at nighttime. You have worried, for example, and a lot of people do. And if you worry, you know what happened? The blood sugar will goes up. And so if that's the case, then you really need to basically do something about it. And that will be Lowsutea will be a very, very good choice because that at least you will have a chance to lower the blood sugar while after you drink Lowsutea will be an excellent things to do. Rather than you get a whole night blood sugar is high, well, that's not a good idea. And so Lowsutea, if you drank it just 1 hour before sleep, and it will not affect the sleep because there's no caffeine. So definitely you can able to help you to lower the blood sugar during the evening. Excuse me. And so net result, you don't want your blood sugar continue to be high, because some people have worry. Sometimes the blood sugar can be as high as, 140, 160, but you drank Lowsutea, then the tea will help the blood sugar go down to 120, in that range. Now, also, I found some people also ask, hey, in the morning, why my blood sugar? I didn't eat anything. Why my blood sugar has kind of gone up at about 130, 140? I didn't eat nothing, and the blood sugar was go up. And before I went to sleep, the blood sugar was about 120 and lower, and now it's 140, 150. I didn't eat up anything. Now, the reason your blood sugar at the morning you shot up, as the reason is your body was preparing your action. If you have action to ready to go to, go to work, wash and all that psychological thing to help your body to get ready, so your blood sugar will go up at that time. Now, one thing I found also, and I got a lot of clients actually help to experiment that. Remember, we have Lowsutea prepare ahead of time. You can actually prepare 8.5 ounce or 250 ml on a small bottle. Once you get up, you drink that tea, and that result will help you bring down the blood sugar. And when you eat breakfast, it makes a lot more easier. And also, before you go to sleep, you drink also Lowsutea. That will help to also lower blood sugar. So both things can actually help you to morning high and the night high. So keep that in mind. That will be one resolution you can do. It will not affect the sleep because of the fact that it has no caffeine. As a matter of fact, it just relaxes you. And that a lot of people say, oh, I drank Lowsutea, I slept better. The reason is the warm fluid is actually help you to relax you. Okay? 嗱，各位朋友，因為咧好多人問咧就話我瞓覺之後咧，咁我啲血糖高喎，咁但係如果你飲咗去糖茶咧，多數血糖咧就會係一個好啲嘅 level 啦，或者係去到6.5之間啦。咁如果你朝頭早上嘅時候忽然間嘣生上嚟，係好似去7、8嗰啲咧，咁其實咧最好咧你又 prepare 一啲去糖茶喺你起身嚟飲咗佢。咁你變咗好多時咧食早餐咧嗰個糖嘅指數咧會降翻低啲嘅，咁係會幫助你即係整體個朝頭早個指數唔會太高。所以飲去糖茶咧，未瞓之前飲一杯，然後起身飲杯咧係對十分有幫助。OK， 呢個唔係藥，只係一個係即係保健產品啊，講得為咧係幫助降低血糖 ，so be very good. So I really found that drinking before you go to sleep and first thing in the morning you go to drink Lowsutea definitely help to stabilize the blood sugar, won't go really high. Okay. So now I'm going to actually go through the lecture now, and I will share my slides. So we'll over here. Eugene, can you tell me you see the slides? Ooh. If you can see the slide, if you can see me, yes, one. Give me a 1, please. I think you can. Better give me a 1. Okay, wonderful. Okay, good. Anyway, okay, now let me. Today is a very, very interesting and a very good webinar to let people know what is triglycerides and why it will help or really create, if you don't control the glyceride, it really create metabolic syndrome, which is mean all the diabetic syndrome. You don't want to be in there, okay? So, and we have 11 ways to help you to decrease the triglyceride and also tell you why this is so important. 今日咧各位堂友。好重要咧，好多人唔知道咧 cholesterol 個都了解，話我要 LDL 降低啊，嗰啲好多人知啊，但係唔知道原來咧三酸甘油脂亦都要降低喎。如果唔係咧，你會令到你自己轉咗去咧一啲即係糖尿病嘅症狀出嚟，咁好多不同嘅後患症就出現啦。咁今日嘅 lecture 咧係講呢咁嘢咧，係幫助你咧係更加多了解嘅。嗱。咁俾我5分鐘，因為我有好多朋友喺新加坡啊、馬來西亞、菲律賓啊係未嚟過咧，咁我哋講個好快脆。 catch up. So I just wanted to give me 5 minutes to catch up with many of the customer who actually are new to us and never actually listened to the webinar, because I saw a lot of people from Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and some New York, California. So I want to catch up with them so they can able to understand what is diabetes. Now, keep in mind, diabetes cannot be cured, has to be only control. And control, you have to have diet, exercise, and weight control, blood tracking, and listen to the webinar. You have to really control. You have to bring your A1C down to below 6.4, and don't let it by 7, because 7 is no good. It will continue to damage your vessel. Pre-diabetic is the same thing. It's no different. And also, certainly, you cannot eat white powder food like rice, flour, cannot drink soda, juice. All those has to really substantial decrease or don't eat or very minimalized. And certainly, Lowsutea definitely help you. So keep that in mind. You can only control. You will not cure. So 記住，糖友，我哋糖尿病咧係唔會好嘅，只係能夠控制，唔可以食白粉啦，唔可以食任何嘅juice 啊、soda 啊，咁控制你嘅 diet 啦，要食啲 low carb 嘅嘢啦，又要exercise 啦，又要控制血糖嘅指數度血糖啦，咁磅數啦，聽 webinar 度血啦，咁呢啲全部都係我哋正常嘅工作，咁當然啦，去糖就會得有幫手嘅。And then the reason why you got diabetes is very simple. First, when you become first issue will go up is really become your cholesterol and your sugar will goes up. And that result, those blood become thick. The first thing is eventually it will form a lot of plaque throughout your vessel. This is the area which will going to cause you lots of problems because we'll plug it with that, we'll plug it with heart and all that. So the first stage, your cholesterol goes up. Second stage, because your plaque formed and your blood pressure go up. The third stage, you don't do anything, you'll become a pre-diabetic, and your pre-diabetic will from 5.7 A1C become 6.4, and thereafter you don't do anything 3 years, you convert to diabetes. Once you become diabetes, by the way, you cannot change. There will always be diabetes, and you cannot go back and say, oh, sorry, I get well now. It won't work. It won't work. It has to be. So I'm working on a lot of people right now, prevent them actually convert to diabetes. So they will be in pre-diabetic stage or even in normal stage. I work very hard with many of our customers doing that. Now, and basically why you drink Lowsutea is because one, we have gravity block sugar into the vessel. Second, bitter melon, act like an insulin, take the sugar into the cells. And we also can dump sugar from urine and sodium and also cholesterol out from urine. So all that will work. And that's the reason why a lot of people say, hey, I took medication for a long time, but you know what? My sugar doesn't come down. But once they drink Lowsutea, sugar come down. Reason is because of the fact that possibly one of the reasons is bitter melon actually act like insulin. They need the extra insulin because there's so much insulin resistant. And that result, they also dump the sugar from the urine and also the cholesterol and also the salt. So that's why a lot of people drank Lowsutea. They say, oh, wow, my swell of the ankle is gone. Okay, so that is how that works. 嗱，各位朋友，飲去糖茶點解會 work 咧？就係因為第一，番石榴 block 咗啲糖入血管裏邊啦；第二咧，苦瓜咧好似胰島素咁帶啲糖入去嗰個細胞裏邊啦，咁你有能量啦；第三，佢就好。仲有一個好處咧，就佢掉啲糖落個尿嗰度啦，佢唔會翻嚟 absorb 啦，同埋啲鹽啦，同埋 cholesterol 喺尿度走咗去啦，咁你啲糖咧就繼續低啦，所以變咗點解Lowsutea真係會 work 嘅原因就咁解嘅，咁如果你唔做嘢點樣啊 ？If you don't do anything, what gonna happen? You're gonna have all these problems come along. We have stroke, cataract, pancreas dysfunction, the insulin doesn't come out, also risk of heart attack, nerve damage. So high blood pressure and potentially injury foot, you get amputation because you can feel it, you get infected, don't well, and then you damage your kidney and you need dialysis. Wow, that would be terrible. And then 30% of the clients with diabetes have no sexual function. And if you are pre-diabetic, you're gestated diabetic, and that result later on, you will have become a potential diabetes. So all that will be your basic, don't do anything, that is potential to happen to you. And once you damage your blood sugar damage, guess what? It doesn't reverse. No vessel will continue to be damaged. OK 嗱，各位同學，如果你唔做嘢咧，3年裏邊咧一路落去咧，你就會可能中風啦，眼有青光眼啦，你嘅胰臟係有問題啦，攞唔到胰島素出嚟啦，心臟病啦，神經系統損壞啦，血壓高啦，再斬咗個腳去咧，真係好慘喎，真係。同埋你個糖尿個整個腎壞咗咧，同埋又要洗腎啦，咁同埋咧仲有好多人咧性功能冇咗啦，咁同埋咧仲有好多係有 BB 嘅，咁嗰陣時咧有個懷孕發作嘅diabetes 咧，咁個嘅 gestation diabetes 又係會有好問題，呢啲人咧係會將來有可能轉嘅，所以要好少老師係咪啊 ？So very important, you gotta keep lowering your blood sugar, prevent this problem, okay? Now, our objective here is help all the people who have high blood sugar, who are pre-diabetic patients, postpone their conversion to be diabetes. If they're diabetic already, we'll delay their complication. And we have 5 programs. The 5 program will be drinking Lowsutea, dieting with low carbs, low fat, and then you're going to have exercise program, weight control program, Dr. Wemler, tracking your blood. All these things will help you to lower your blood sugar. And that's what we'll do, okay? Now, so today we'll talk about very special why you want to do lower your triglyceride, okay? So first of all, let's talk about what is triglyceride, okay? Now, many people know about high cholesterol. You know, LDL is not good for your heart and might not good for your body with high cholesterol. At least people know what is LDL is bad. But a lot of people do not know what is triglyceride, because when you have high triglyceride, and we'll further define what is triglyceride later, but if you have poor control, usually high triglyceride, poor control usually because you are diabetic, you are total obese, and all that, you always have high blood pressure, and net result, you're going to have high risk of heart disease or stroke. So this webinar will teach you about why is this high cholesterol, not high cholesterol, high triglyceride will affect your body. Okay? 嗱，各位朋友，好多人就知道咩叫膽固醇高唔好咧 ，LDL 好高啊，唔正仔啦，好多人都知道嘅。咁但係咧，好多人就唔知道咩叫三酸甘油酯會令到你都係差嘅。原來咧，如果你係糖尿病啦，如果係好難冇控制糖尿病，你就會變咗咁啦，好肥胖啦，同埋咧仲有咧你血壓高啦。嗱，all呢啲咁嘅嘢咧，多數咧就會 end up 就有心臟病啦，同埋咧中風嘅機會係高好多嘅。嗱，記住有兩種 cholesterol 好重要啊 ，HDL 係好嘅 cholesterol，LDL 就唔好嘅 cholesterol。OK， 咁乜嘢叫做三酸甘油酯咧 ？OK， so what is triglyceride is? Now triglyceride is fat you ate on the food, and the fat will convert it and carry that into the blood system. For example, butter, margarine, all the oil you eat is accumulated. So more you accumulate this stuff, and especially a lot of sugar, alcohol, calorie, those are all turned to triglycerides and stored in a fat cell throughout your body. Okay, that is what is triglyceride all about. So don't think that, well, don't worry, I don't eat too much sugar, but I eat a lot of butter, I eat a lot of margarine, I eat a lot of oil, and I drink a lot of liquor, alcohol, calories. Now all that will store in the fat cell part of the triglyceride. So end up your body will be continue high triglyceride going up. Okay, so do not think just eat fat will work. It doesn't good. It's not too good for you. Okay， 嗱，各位朋友，三酸甘油酯咧就係咁咧。如果你食好多肥嘅嘢，好似食嗰啲牛油啊，食好多 margarine 啊，不同嘅油啊，飲好多酒啊，食好多糖啊，呢啲嘢全部喺身體度轉咗佢做三酸甘油酯嘅。咁然後呢啲咧就將呢啲咁嘅 fat 就放咗喺個 fat 喺個當一個肥胖嘅 cell 喺個身體嘅脂肪細胞中裏邊嘅。咁所以變咗越整得多啲咧 accumulate 咗咧，你嗰個 身體咧越整越高咧，就 triglyceride 會高噶啦 ，OK？ 咁所以變咗嚟咧，你一定要唔好俾你自己有好多呢啲咁嘅嘢先 ，OK？ Now, so what does it mean if you have high triglyceride? Okay. Now, when you have high triglyceride, usually what happens is you always have what they call a metabolic syndrome. Now, that is a sign which is shown your high triglyceride will be actually high. It's very simple. Look, one, your LDL will be very low. LDL, the good cholesterol, is low. Secondly, your belly fat, you got a big belly, okay? You will have big belly. And a lot of time when you see people have big belly, you know this person most likely will high triglyceride because 9 out of 10, the person with big chubby belly will really have that issue. And they always have what they call a high blood sugar. And on top of that, the LDL will high. Now, remember what I said earlier? If you have high sugar, high LDL, the sugar and the LDL will mix together with the blood, and the blood become very thickened and will clog up all your vessels. Imagine that, the whole body vessel will start clogging up. So that is the first thing you do, which will lead you definitely will damage your B cells of the pancreas, and as a result, eventually you will turn to a diabetic, or if you not turn to already a diabetic, you will become a more serious diabetic. Wow, that will be not good, right? So metabolic syndrome will actually shows up. You have low LDL, big fatty fat, high blood sugar, your fat belly, and with low, with high LDL, that is going to come out. Okay, so you want to prevent that. Secondly, another high sign is you usually are very big, obesity, you're fat and big, plus your total cholesterol level are usually very high. And then your blood pressure is also come out will be high, abnormal blood pressure level. And all that will clog your artery, lead to heart disease and stroke. Now remember the first stage, high LDL and sugar damage your B cells. So you need more insulin to get the sugar into the cells. And also because clog up LDL with sugar, clog form plaque, your blood vessel is not going to, work well because there's less space. You know what? Then your blood pressure is going to go up. That's the second stage. Remember, you continue to do that. Don't do anything. The third stage is you're pre-diabetic. Remember, we said the third stage. If you don't do anything, fourth stage, that's what? Wow, you are diabetes. So all these really make sense, isn't it? So really, at the end of the day, you really got to look at that. Wow, it's all tie in again. Okay. 嗱，各位堂友，三酸甘油脂咧，點解如果高有咩意思咧？第一，原來你高嘅時候咧，你 LDL 一定高嘅。第二，你 low HDL 個好 cholesterol 會低嘅。第三，你個糖咧會高嘅。咁變咗嚟講咧，你糖同埋呢個 LDL 高嘅時候，記唔記得頭先講咗啊？第一個 stage 咧，你就form咗好多 plaque 喺個成個身體血管嗰度。當你塞晒啲嘢嘅時候咧，你個血壓就會高啦。咁你多數係肥胖，血壓高，你個 cholesterol 高，血壓又高。嗱 ，eventually 咧就將你個所有全身嘅血管咧開始慢慢塞。咁最後咧你就會有高風險咧就咩 heart attack 啦，即係會有心臟病發作或者中風啦。So really at the end of the day, just now when we talk about in the first stage, talk with everybody. Wow, it's all tied in together. The first stage is cholesterol and sugar forming, and then your damaged B cell, and then second stage, your because of the plaque forming on the vessel, your blood pressure goes up. If you don't do anything, your third stage is pre-diabetic. Fourth stage, at the end of the day, don't do anything, diabetes. It's all same here, right? So the question you might have is, how do I cause high triglyceride? What is the main reason? What is the real reason to get me to have high triglyceride? Now, a lot of time, most of the people who get high triglyceride are overweight, obesity, overweight, okay? And secondly, a lot of people are poor control diabetes are usually absolutely the high candidate of high triglyceride. That's why when the doctor, when you're diabetes, they always go back to you and say, okay, I need to take a blood test to see how you are. And the third, there will be a lot of people, they don't do a lot of activities, they don't exercise, they stay in the bed, they watch a lot of TV. Hey, I remember one of my friends in Maui, okay, he basically is an elderly guy. He is total overweight. I went to look at his house. He has a path. All they do is go to his sitting as an easy chair, whole day long, watch TV, everything. He doesn't move around. And there's a mess in the house. Wow, terrible. So these are the kind of typical candidate truly with high cholesterol, and eventually they will basically have very poor health, risk of stroke and heart attack. And also these people, they tend to eat a lot of carbs, you know, they eat chips, they eat cookies while they're watching TV, and they also eat a lot of sugary food. And worse that if they are type of people, they also drink a lot of alcohol, drink beer whole day long, or they drink 6-pack a day. Man, these are the very typical cause of high triglycerides. I don't know, do you have friends like that? If you have friends like that, you better advise them, hey, you might need to start changing that lifestyle, okay, to decrease that. 嗱，各位堂友，呢個咧好多人就話，哇，點樣即係有高三脂油甘點嚟㗎？咁 OK， 嗱，大多數呢啲人咧係好肥胖。第二咧，佢多數已經係糖尿患病者，失控嘅糖尿患者而家。咁好多時呢啲人咧，永遠都唔去做下 exercise 嘅，佢係坐喺度睇電視，成日睇電視。咁佢咧食好多chips 啦、薯片啦、cookies 啦，食好多甜嘅東西。咁佢個 carbs 好鬼高嘅，又食好多糖嘅東西嘢。咁仲有咧，要飲好多酒啊，多數飲啤酒啦，有啲人飲烈酒啦。咁呢啲咧全部咧睇呢扎人咧。一定係知道咧，呢個人咧係會一個好高嘅 triglyceride 㗎啦。咁所以咧，如果係咁講話，佢落去咧，佢身體一定會好差。So really, if you have a friend, I know, you know, I saw some of quite a bit of my Hawaii friends here, some of my friends from Philippines or Vancouver. If you have friends like that, you better start asking them, hey, maybe you gotta cut down the sugar and all that. Because if they continue like that, they definitely get in trouble down the road. Okay, so really, how are you lower the triglyceride? And that will be 11 steps for help you. And the question is, wow, can I lower my triglyceride? The answer is absolutely yes. It's just a matter of you determine to do it. 有好多朋友問，喂，咁如果我咪可以降低呢個三甘油脂㗎，一定係得，因為你只係能夠咧好簡單食啲健康嘅食物。So it's really important just eat more healthy food instead of eating unhealthy food, okay? So what is called healthy food? Now, you really got to limit your intake like creamy, sugar fruity food, you know, like high cholesterol item, even grilled cheese sandwich, you have to limit your intake of those stuff. High saturation fat item like French fry, like McDonald's stuff is going to be bad. Red meat, you know, really you got to eat a lot of red meat. That might be a concern. Whole milk, meaning, you know, especially whole milk, a lot of milk now. Whole milk has a lot of sugar. I was in Safeway when I was in last time in Hawaii. Well, I find milk is over like some whole milk is 13 grams, 18 grams carbs. So you don't want to get that kind of milk. Now, they want you to taste good. That's why I put a lot of sugar in there. And so make sure you don't do that. And 3 scoops of ice cream at night, wow, that for sure will do it. Okay, those are the things that you will limit your intake. So do not eat those unhealthy food, okay? To be honest, I was just as guilty because these are the food I used to like, okay? But on the other hand, now I know this is bad for me, so I cut them off. No more creamy food, the sugary food, okay? So we know we all have this habit before, but on the other hand, to be good health, that you have to change. 嗱，各位朋友，食點去減低你嘅三甘油脂好簡單，唔好食咁多 creamy 嘅嘢，好 cream soup 啊嗰啲冇啦，好多糖嘅食物啦，好多 cookies 啊嗰啲咁嘅嘢啦。如果食好多肥嘅麥當勞嘅東西啦，就唔好食啦，因為你麥當勞有好多譬如 French fry 啊，全部係 saturated fat 嗰啲唔正仔啦，紅肉啦。牛奶咧，睇下佢牛奶係 whole milk 啦，食呢個 low fat milk 咧，唔好食呢個啦。如果你每晚食3個雪糕咧，就唔好食啦。尤其是瞓覺之前咧，千祈唔好食咁咧。所以好簡單 ，the first one 咧就係唔好食啲唔係咁健康嘅食物。So second thing to lower your triglycerides is very simple. Basically, to lower it by eating no soda.No more soda because soda is extra, like Coke is 300 gram carbs, 1 can of Coke. So basically, it just took away your entire required carbs. So it's terrible, right? So you don't want to get all the baking goods, like for example, muffins, all the things, candies, sugar fruits. Now, sugar-heavy fruits like big mangoes.Those are not good. A flavored yogurt is not good because a lot of yogurt put a lot of sugar in there. Greek yogurt is good. And you don't want to eat a lot of breakfast cereal, have a lot of sugar in it, and then ice cream. So all these things has to be limited. So I would say not take the no sugar food, basically. So it is hard, but don't forget, you and only have about 150 gram carbs a day. So you have to plan this. If you're going to eat this, eat very little, at least get the taste, and then you cannot go on. So all these sweetie food, sugar juice, and all that, you have to limit it, okay? So no more on those, okay? Now, also there are,嗱，各位朋友千祈唔好食即係飲汽水啊，食啲餅食啊，或者蛋糕啊、糖啊，好甜嘅果汁啊，同埋或者 yogurt 咧有好多甜嘅 yogurt 啦，或者 breakfast cereal 雪糕啊，呢啲就要全部降低晒，唔好食咁多，要食好少少 ，OK？ 咁呢個咧就拒絕糖嘅食物啦，嚇。So there are other sweet items that you might not aware, but it is sweet. So for example, a lot of people say, hey, I don't worry, I drink my coffee, I use brown sugar. But brown sugar is still very sweet. So you cannot really take the brown sugar. Better to use other sugar like some agaves are even better because they have low glycemic index item. Fruit concentrate juice is very sweet. Do not do that. Corn syrup, cane syrup, honey, raw sugar, all those has to be basically limited, okay? So you got to keep in mind there are a lot of sugar around, so you have to check what is it, what is the carbs out of it, okay? 嗱，各位朋友，仲有好多糖嘅食物咧，好似黃糖啦，仲有好多好果汁 concentrate 果汁啦，同埋有 corn syrup 啦，有蔗糖啦。honey 啦，即係蜜糖啦，仲有 raw sugar， 呢啲咧真係學你話白糖啊，就唔可以食啦。呢啲真係學你話齋，呢啲食咗咧真係令到你會好快脆咧就有高咗呢個triglyceride 嘅。咁仲有啦，就所有嘅白麵粉啊，可以喂，唔可以食呢啲嘢，就食多啲即係 fiber 嘅 food。第四項咧就 limit 你啲白麵粉嘢。So the fourth one is no white flour powder, I would say, and more fiber food will be really better for you. So what's that mean? You have to eat more whole grain instead of white flour, okay? Because your bread with white flour, that is not good for you. So actually right now, cut off all the white flour. Hey, my blood sugar is really good. So eat more fiber. So fiber can lower your triglycerides also. So it's really good. So eat also like berry instead of a sweet cereal or bagel. Those are, again, is eating some high fiber fruits. Berry is high fiber fruits versus eating some sweet cereal bagels. That will be not good for you. And in lunch and dinner, you have to load with lots of vegetable, and you have the beans, brown rice, is the potato pasta. So I have been telling you guys, or helping to suggest you folks that have all vegetable. And then 1/4 is your lean meat, chicken, lean beef, lean pork, and then chicken without skin. And then 1/4 will be your carbs, which can be brown rice, maybe some beans. So those are things that help you to better control your carbs goes up, and also give you more fibers, and net result, it help you also lower your triglyceride. So 嗱，各位朋友，千祈唔好食白粉。白粉咩咧？好似即係意大利粉啊嗰啲東西咧，就唔好食咁多啦。一定要食咩啊？有纖維嘅東西。咩叫纖維東西啊？譬如好似食多啲蔬菜啦。如果果就食呢啲 berries 啊，任何嗰啲黑葡萄啊呢啲東西啦。咁同埋咧，就唔好食咁多有糖嘅 cereal 啦，或者食晚飯嘅時候咧，最好食晒好多菜，一半係菜，然後4分1係你嗰啲肉啦 ，protein 肉啦，雞肉啊，冇皮啊啲東西咧，4分1咧就係嗰啲飯咧用紅米啊，或者食其他嘅beans 啊，即係豆啊，即係豆啊，紅豆啊 ，kidney 豆啊嗰啲咧就全部咧。腰果豆咧，嗰啲就可以做呢個你個即係carbs 嗰邊嘅。咁變咗你咧食咁多 fiber 係對你咧，因為 fiber 係會降低你個三酸甘油脂嘅。Okay, so number five is now I have to eat what? Fat. Okay, wow. How do I eat fat? The right type of fat. Now, as you know, when you eat fat, you should eat more mono or polyunsaturated fat, which is like avocado, walnut, chicken without skin, olive oil. These are good fat to eat, okay? Now, the worst is you don't want to get trans fat to you, which is like French fry, cakes, cracker, chips. All these are no good for you. So you really need to limit the trans fat, and also you need to have more saturated fat, like less saturated fat. Not you don't want to eat more. You want to eat less saturated fat, such as ice cream, buttery, baked good, red meat. Those will have to be limited. So importantly, really eat more mono, polyunsaturated fat food, which is like avocado, walnut, chicken without skin, all for it. So again, it's just a lifestyle change. And we do have all kind of recipe, and I think did a lot for you guys already, and we'll continue to do more. You can actually still cook very nice thing for you to enjoy with this type of cooking, and your people, the people will actually don't have the diabetes. They will love it because my family loved the cooking that I made. They said, wow, this is real good, but I have not much of any of the trans fat or saturated fat. So really, at the end of the day, you can still enjoy good cooking, good food without getting a high triglyceride. Okay? 各位朋友，你知道每個人都要食啲脂肪嘢嘅，一定要食呢啲咧，係要食嗰啲脂肪咧係有mono and polyunsaturated fat 嘅脂肪，好似食呢個牛油果啦、合桃啦、雞母皮啦、橄欖油啦，呢啲係好嘢嚟嘅。但係咧，如果你食好似呢個反脂肪咧，反式脂肪呢啲咧，就好似麥當勞嘅French fry 啊，即係薯條啊、cakes 啊、餅啊、cream 餅啊、cracker 啊、chips 啊、薯片啊，呢啲啊全部唔好食啦。咁仲有咧，要繼續降低咧你其他好肥嘅東西，好似紅肉啊、雪糕啊、所有嘅餅食啊，呢啲咧就要降低啦。OK。咁所以其實最緊要咧就食多啲呢啲咁嘅果，牛油果啦、合桃啦。如果你即係有時夜晚肚餓咧 snack 咧食啲合桃都 OK 嘅，即係食幾片啦嚇。 咁同埋咧就可以煮嘢咧，全部用 olive oil 亦都 good 嘅。So number 6, to help you to lower your triglycerides is really eat more fish than red meat. Now fish is extremely good. You know why? Fish has this thing called omega-3. It helps you on your heart. So important to eat more fish, and a lot of time you should eat at least 3 times fish per week. So what kind of fish is good? It's good to eat cod, salmon, herring, tuna. All these fish have high omega-3. And omega-3 actually lower your triglycerides. So fish is extremely good. You want to continue to eat more fish. Okay? 嗱，各位朋友，魚咧係好正嘅，因為魚咧裏邊有一個東西叫 omega-3 啊。omega-3 咧係幫助你咧係降低咩啊？降低呢個 triglyceride 呢個三甘油脂嘅。咁你食咩魚好啊？食三文魚啦，食石斑啦，呢啲全部 tuna 魚啦，全部係 good 嘅。So try to eat more fish instead of red meat. Okay? So you could eat more fish instead of red meat. Remember that. Now another one is nuts and green. Number 7. It's good to eat a lot of nuts and also a lot of green. What do you mean a lot of green? A lot of vegetables like spinach, cow, green salad, bean, flaxseed, walnuts, almond. All these nuts are good for you. And especially at nighttime, you're hungry, so I want to get some snack. A lot of time I eat a few pieces of almond, some walnuts. Wow, then you're satisfied. It is so good. And don't actually, when you do that, drink some Lowsutea with it. That will really help you better. Next thing, when you check the blood sugar, you know the blood sugars are level at like, you know, under 120, between 120, 110, 120. It's always been that. And then, for Hong Kong people who go from, you know, probably about 6.3 all the way to 6 or 5.9. That's good data. So a lot of people at nighttime, you want some snack, just get a piece of that and drink some Lowsutea, almond, and also walnut will be absolutely good. Okay? 嗱，各位朋友，記住夜晚咧，或者食緊有少肚餓啊，要食多啲果仁啦。有咩果仁好啊？合桃啦、杏仁啦。如果菜有咩蔬菜啦，或者食啲 green 普通嘅綠色沙律啦、豆啦，咁同埋咧呢個 flaxseed 啦，呢啲係全部好嘢嚟嘅。變咗嚟講咧，你唔會即係你加咗 nuts 咧，又唔會整高你嘅carbs。咁同埋咧green 咧有即係食嗰啲菜咧有好多 fiber。OK？ So number 8, you really cannot drink a lot of alcohol intake. I tell you, a lot of people don't realize actually alcohol intake will actually increase your triglyceride. Okay, so some of the people said, wow, you know, what do I drink? I mean, I'm so used to drinking something cold. Hey, you know what? Your Lowsutea can drink an icy Lowsutea, not necessarily hot, but icy. You know, a lot of people make it real cold. And you can squeeze a little lime in the Lowsutea, make it even tastier. You can do that. You can drink icy herbal tea. You can also have sparkling water with some lime juice also. All that can make a drink a lot more attractive and more delicious. Instead of drinking a lot of wine, beer, or cocktail, whiskey, that all will convert to what? High triglycerides. So again, drinking alcohol, maybe, yes, little beer might not be affected, like maybe 1/2 cup of beer, but don't drink a lot of that. But if you drink a lot of alcohol, like whiskey, because a lot of people keep drinking, that might not be real good. Even wine, you got to really control toward to be, half a glass or lower. Now, I'll give you a real story. One of the very high executive came to see me, and they would say, hey, Andrew, you know, my blood sugar always go high middle of night, you know, at 10 o'clock on, when I go up to high as 180, 190, 200. And I said, why is that? You know, so I said, what have you been doing? He said, oh, every night after dinner, I drink maybe half a bottle of red wine, half a bottle of red wine. And this is just regular typical bottle. And I will enjoy my red wine. I don't eat much, just the red wine and watching TV, relax myself. And I said, you know, that is going to eventually do that every night, you might get killed. because the blood sugar go up all 200 and above, is meaning his blood sugar is already, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It keep going up. So I said, you do that, yeah, you enjoy yourself for a little while, but in about 2-3 years, you'll be really have a total uncontrolled diabetes, because whole night I saw his blood sugar way up there and doesn't come down, and he doesn't know why either. So I said, you got to cut down your alcohol, meaning that don't drink that wine. Your blood sugar, you take a look, will be come down or not. And you know what? Once you stop drinking, because the red wine has a lot of what? Grapes. Grapes have very sweet itself, high carbs. And once you stop, the blood sugar will get back down to about 7 or 140 or so. So he was, wow, I didn't know that. Will be come down so much lower. And suddenly after he drank Lowsutea, his blood sugar would become 120, between 1 lower, and also came down to about 6.4 to 6, around that range. So proven, really, alcohol with red wine, even red wine, you can jack up your blood sugar very quickly. And that is something that you have to watch. 嗱，各位堂友，好多人唔知道咧，原來咧飲紅酒咧係會令到你咧係會高嘅。嗱，所以咧其實咧就真係唔好飲紅酒啦，因為有個客咧，佢話：劉生點解我血糖成日咁鬼高嘅？咁佢其實度咗之後咧，知道咧佢點解去到即係10幾嘅 ，OK？ 咁話你做咗乜嘢啊？佢飲紅酒嘅，飲咗半支嘅，夜晚多數夜晚係10點零鐘開始飲咗半支咧，瞓覺之前飲咗之後，佢成晚都咁高。我話如果你成日係咁咧，2-3年後咧，你就一定係好多後患者出現嘅，即係心臟病啊，其他出世。咁我話何必咧？係咪 ？So he start realize that was one issue. So what he did is he start limited， 即係唔飲紅酒啦。佢一唔飲紅酒嘅時候咧，佢血糖即刻降低咧，去到7，咁再飲埋去糖茶咧，就去到6點幾以下噶啦。咁所以變咗好好噶啦嚇。所以其實咧唔飲紅酒係一個好大分別。咁如果唔飲紅酒嘅話，飲咩飲啊？你其實飲可以，如果中意一凍嘢，係去糖茶，可以用凍嘅去糖茶，或者用其他嘅即係冰嘅花草茶，或者飲就算 sparkling water， 即係蘇打水再加 lime 都 OK。嗱，去糖茶你加 lime juice 係好飲嘅，所以呢啲嘢全部可以做到。你要飲凍嘅東西啦，或者係飲其他一樣可以做咧，你係享受人生，但係你唔會令到糖高。OK，so as long as you don't drink your real alcohol, continue to drink high, drink other juice, you actually will be totally improve your health. Your blood sugar doesn't go out. Is that wonderful? Because that will be something that what you're going to do. Now, also, you really cannot drink soda. To be honest, soda, juice, bubble tea, ice milkshake, all those things has to be gone, okay? Now, you didn't know if you asked, and certainly a lot of people don't realize, bubble tea is about 300 carbs can be achieved in that bubble tea. 300 carbs. That's 2 days worth of carb, my friend. So it can be very, very sweet. So that has to be taken out. And soda, it can be also sweet. So no more soda, no more sweet juice. I actually make all these mistakes. To be honest, I'm just as guilty you are. Then I start reading about it, start measuring blood sugar. I said, oh no, I'm hitting. So no more soda, no more juice, and no more bubble tea, and no more ice milkshake and all the good stuff, okay? If you want to take a little bit, take as low a little bit as possible, but really at the end of the day, eliminate it will be even better, okay? 嗱，其實飲糖嘅東西好似汽水啊，飲好甜嘅果汁啊，或者飲珍珠奶茶啊，或者奶茶啦、凍奶茶嗰啲，全部係好高糖嘅。咁你嗰啲咧就真係老實講，唔好飲嗰啲住啦，因為或者係咁好少。咁如果因為你如果飲咗佢咧，其實對身體影質唔妥當嘅。So really, I know it's a control issue. It's not easy. You just have to help yourself to really control that sweet mouth taste, if you will. Now, number 10, very important to control your weight, because control your weight will help you to decrease your belly fat. If you lower your belly fat, you also decrease your triglycerides, okay? So fat belly is an actual sign you have high triglyceride. The extra weight has also increased your triglyceride because there's more fat being stored, right? Remember that? So you got to bring down that weight and the fat belly to decrease your triglycerides. So losing weight is an important task. 各位同友，如果你係好肥胖、大肚墩嘅，咁嗰啲同埋要好過重咧，咁你個三酸甘油脂咧一定會上去嘅。降低佢咧就最緊要降低你嘅重磅啦，降低你個belly fat 啦，同埋咧你個自然咧你個三樣降低嘅。So that is the reason actually if you go to a doctor or the nurse will measure your belly. On diabetic, they also always measure your belly, see whether your belly go bigger or smaller. So they always do that. So really that is the one big reason why they also monitor your belly, how big it is, the increase. Because you do that, that means you start losing control, your triglyceride goes up. And also with that will also link to your higher blood sugar level, for sure. Now, last but not least, you got to do exercise, because exercise definitely help you to lower your triglyceride. Now, what does it mean exercise? You can go walk, you can go swim, you can go dance, you can do housework, yard work, anything you do increase the movement, then you can really to decrease your triglyceride. Now, as long as you do 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week, walk. I have many of my clients in Hong Kong, they're so hot, you know what they do? They walk shopping mall, and they walk 1 hour shopping mall after dinner. And they said, this is so wonderful because I was able to, my husband and I, or my wife and I, walk shopping mall for 1 hour, relax a little bit, see what the new fashion is. I don't buy anything, and it was really cool. So really, at the end of the day, you can really improve by walking, doing exercise, and really at the end of the day, you'll feel so much better. So that can be not necessarily a lot of real hardcore exercise, just walk. And certainly you could swim, or some people want dancing, that's good too. But don't forget, housework will do also. It's just 30-minute housework. 5 days a week, cut the cholesterol will be, they will definitely cut the triglyceride about, if you do 30 minutes exercise 5 days a week, you cut about 20 to 30% of triglyceride. Isn't that wonderful? Just do 30-minute exercise 5 times a day. You already cut down your triglyceride 20 to 30%. Wow, that is great. 嗱，各位同友，好簡單，你做呢個運動，你行 shopping mall， 你行公司，可以行1個鐘頭，食完飯唔係食飯前啊，食完飯後行1個鐘頭，游水跳舞。如果你每日做30分鐘嘅啫，每日做5次，即係每個星期做5次咧，你已經可能夠降低嘅 triglyceride 咧，大概20至30%啦。所以呢啲係咪好又容易做 ？OK。咁變咗嚟講咧，其實亦都幫助你有糖尿病嘅糖友咧，全部係降低血糖嘅。所以記住，如果你唔做 exercise 咧，啲糖未必當。所以同埋咧，你 exercise 係當住係降低你唔自己計 triglyceride 咧，又 burn out 你啲糖咧，係一舉兩得。哇！真係正啦。So very important. You gotta do exercise. Lower triglyceride, also burn out some of the excess sugar. It also help you on the overall diabetes or overall you're pre-diabetic. It's the same thing to help you to have continued better health, lower blood sugar. So one more important though, how I know I'm high in triglyceride or not. And you got to do that. You got to go back to the doctors and say, hey, are you monitoring my triglyceride? And they have to do a blood test because you will not tell Now, you do it now, 3 months later on your next appointment, you're going to ask the doctor to check the triglyceride. But if your triglycerides are already high, the doctor will definitely continue to check because they know with that, they have to have some more item to help you to lower your triglyceride, either drugs or you change your lifestyle. Are you able to do that? So those are things that they might ask to basically to kind of monitor you, if you will. So really at the end of the day, your normal triglyceride is less than 150 milligram per deal. In Hong Kong, will be less than 1.7 millimole per liter. That is the normal triglyceride. Now, your borderline is about 150 to 199 milligram per deal, or 1.8 to 2.2 millimole per liter. Now, people who are high, this is the area where both the borderline and the high need to do a lot of work. It's just 11 steps you got to do. If you're 200 over 499 milligram per deal, which is 2.3 to 5.6 millimole per liter. So you at this range, you really got to do some work. If not, you are consider a potential risk for higher future heart attack and stroke. Now you're very high, like you're 500 milligram per deal or greater than 5.6 millimole per liter, then you are really need work very seriously. If not, you will definitely will not be healthy for long. Okay, you will be in serious trouble in health as we move on. So these are the data you got to have. You can take a picture, then you can remember this is important data. When you ask the doctor, this is a number you can remember. Okay， 嗱，各位朋友，好多人咧唔知道原來咧，當我係少過 1.7 咧個 millimole per liter 咧，我係正常嘅。但係如果你係 1.8 至 2.2 嘅 millimole per liter 咧，哇，咁你已經開始要注重，要開始改變你嘅生活11個 way 去改變啦，11種辦法啦。如果你高嘅係 2.3 至 5.6 咧，已經係一個弊嘅問題啦。即係如果你唔做嘢，一定會轉差嘅。一路上去嘅時候咧，去到 5.6 咧，哇，你就好弊啦。即係你繼續唔做嘢咧，你可能會變咗一個好差嘅病人 ，eventually 係 damage 晒所有嘅嘢嘅。所以呢個要好小心。咁其實你可以影一張相啦，咁知道原來咧，我就呢個係 tracking 呢笪地方咧，你要記住咧 triglyceride。如果你有係由已經去 1.8 以上咧，或者 2.3 咧，咁一定要做嘢。如果唔做嘢，唔改變生活習慣，你就會中㗎啦。OK， so keep that in mind. This is the number you gotta remember. So this is the target. Hopefully you will come down to 1.7 or less, but you're 1.8. You're gonna start changing lifestyle. Make sure the 11 step I just talked to you about. Then you get able to make sure you monitor your your triglyceride, and this has to be a lab test done by a doctor. When you go see doctor, they definitely will take a test and will tell you. So, in conclusion, triglyceride often is a sign that will be following as your metabolic syndrome, which is mean that you are poor diabetic condition or you got start losing control of your diabetes. Usually you are very high in cholesterol, you are usually obese, your blood pressure is going high, and all the vessels are start being clogged by these triglyceride forming plaque on each of the vessel. Man, that will be really bad for you because that will actually at the end of the day lead you to be heart attack and stroke. Okay, now you might not do it within a year, but a few years later you're going to have that. By the way, once your plaque are continually form plaque all throughout the body, you cannot reverse it. The plaque doesn't fall apart. They will continue to just grow. So you got to start early to keep yourself healthy and make sure you live long life without all these plaque forming on the vessels. Wow, that is really a task. Nobody can do for you except yourself. And how do you control? Very simple. You have 11 ways to do that, to lower your triglyceride. You're not going to eat any unhealthy food, like, for example, a lot of creamy food, sugary food, less McDonald's. You got to get rid of the sugar food like soda and all that, juice, and no longer drink all that. And for example, you drink coffee, you don't put a lot of white sugar in there. That's no good. And the 4, you cannot eat a lot of white flour, like for example, baked goods. You need more fibers, like for example, a lot of vegetable. You got to get rid of eating a lot of fatty food, red meat, and then you have to eat more fish instead of red meat. And on top of that, you need to eat nuts and green, like a lot of vegetable, not, nuts. You can actually put nuts on a vegetable is good. Nuts are walnuts, almond nuts, that will be good for you. Greens, any vegetable will do, not starchy vegetable will be good for you. Cow, spinach, those are very good stuff. And then you cannot drink a lot of alcohol, because alcohol like beer, red wine, all those are created what? High triglyceride for you. So you can drink actually Lowsutea, you want to drink it, good. That can be good for you. And then no sweet drinks, like, sugary drink. You have to lose your weight. And also you have to do exercise. Just lose your weight because your belly with a lot of belly fat, that will be bad for you. So anyway, this will be something that you now need to really remember, the 11th step to help you to lower triglyceride. 嗱，各位同友，高三酸甘油脂咧，係因為你多數咧係已經開始失控你個糖尿病啊、肥胖啊，同埋血壓高啊，呢啲係全部塞咗你血管咧，弊家伙啦，你會機會咧中風機會好高嘅。咁你一定要由呢個方案咧去改變生活習慣，就降低你個三甘油脂。咁點做啊？唔好食嗰啲唔健康嘅食物啦，好似好多忌廉嘅東西啊、糖嘅食物啊，唔好食嗰啲糖嘅飲品啊、汽水啊嗰啲降低啦 ，juice 啊嗰啲降低啦，唔好食嗰啲白粉啦，白粉就好似baking good 啊、flour 啊、麵粉啊啲東西啦，同埋咧要食多啲菜蔬，有好多纖維東西啦，因為纖維降低嘅 triglyceride 嘅。咁同埋咧就唔好食咁多肥嘅東西啦。同埋咧就要食多魚啦，唔好食咁啲紅肉啦，同埋咧食嗰啲果仁咧，食杏仁果仁或者合桃果仁咧，就食多啲綠色嘅生菜啦，就唔好飲嗰啲酒啦，紅酒同埋啤酒呢啲全部令到呢個 triglyceride go up 嘅。咁就係啦，飲咧去糖茶可以凍飲嘅，或者 ice 嘅lime 落去啦，或者飲其他嘅。sparkling water 都 OK 嘅，咁同埋咧就真係糖飲好甜嘅就唔好飲啦，咁要降低個呢個大肚針啦，同埋咧就要做多 exercise 啦 ，OK。So I hope this webinar to give you a very good way to let you know what will be the way to lower your triglyceride. I hope that will help you to remember. If you don't do anything, all your fats will be all of LDL cholesterol and the sugar will form lots of plaques throughout your entire body, blocking all your vessels. Oh my goodness, you are going to have potentially a lot of problems like heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure. It all comes, definitely. So net result, you got to be very, very, very careful on, this monitoring. Now we have some questions. We can answer all the questions now. Always have nice question from our people from Hawaii, Eugene. It said if it's too much ice cream, not good even during the day. It's better since you can burn the carbs. Okay. Now I know a lot of people like to eat ice cream, including myself. But eating ice cream, don't eat 3 scoops before you go to sleep because you can burn it off. You're right. It's best to eat ice cream during the day, not during the night before you go to sleep because you don't burn out anymore. But you eat ice cream, cannot eat 3 scoops. You can eat half a scoop, a little bit, and then you can burn all the carbs. So when you eat ice cream, do not eat it at 3 scoops at night, where just before you sleep. That will be a killer. Always eat it during the day, or even after dinner, you still have some time it burns it out, but half a scoop, not a big 3 scoop. Okay, during the day is better. And 所以食雪糕咧就唔好晚黑食啦，晚黑就食3個雪糕唔 good 嘅。咁如果日頭食半個少少雪糕都得㗎，當然得啦，就唔好食咁多啦。食晚飯食些少都得，但唔係日日食喎，就間中食啊。記住。So the next question is artificial sweetener not good for you. Now, certain artificial sweetener actually it is not good because they're like saccharin is actually cancer producing. So a lot of people now do not use saccharin. Now, certain equal is still a chemical, so it really might not be really that good either. But a lot of people are using that, and so you really have to basically, if you're slightly sweet, maybe it's best to get some very low glycemic sugar, just like monk fruit or agave, very little, and it'll give you a little taste. But a low glycemic might be a better choice. So you got to see if you get this low actual natural sugar, will it really check up your blood sugar? So you can see, because the carbs are very low in that thing. So you need to basically test it out yourself because each person responds differently. 嗱，假糖啊，即係啲糖咧係即係用 chemical 做，好似 saccharin 啊，係冇好貨咧，其實就唔好嘅，因為 saccharin cancer producing 嘅。如果食 equal 咧得唔得咧？嗱，呢個咧就因為有 chemical 都係，咁所以其實咧要用啲 natural 啲嘅糖，就好似 for example agave 咧就係呢個叫做食人果啊，咁咧就可以係好少，咁你要試下係咪會 increase 嘅 sugar？ 呢個要試嘅。Air frying a good cooking method. I understand air frying is actually has less oil being, the oil are being excreted. The air will, because air fryer you don't use oil to fry. Actually, it might be a good way of cooking. You want to lower the fat, so that is actually good. So beans will be good, is like kidney beans. Those are very good beans to help you to be more protein, less cholesterol. Sparkling water is better than tap water. Actually, tap water is good. Sparkling water is good. Only sparkling have gas. So up to you to really want to get taste. So actually, there's a few customers, they like sparkling water because they want to have that gas bubble. So they actually make the Lowsutea. You know what? They mix with sparkling water. So the tea tastes sparkling with gas and tastes good. And they put a little lime in there to make the tea very interesting. So you can try that too. Actually, sparkling Lowsutea. They mix the tea first to chill it. And then instead of making regular water, to mix it in the tea to make it gassy, and they did that. Love it, and you can try that. 嗱，仲有 kidney beans 係好嘅嚇，記住。咁如果有啲叫依家有呢個用唔係油去煮啲食物咧，係用熱氣咧，呢個亦都 OK 嘅，因為冇咁多油啦。咁同埋咧，有啲汽水咧叫 sparkling 水咧係冇糖嘅。但係佢依家溝咗有啲美國嘅朋友咧，用咗佢嚟溝呢個Lowsutea 去糖茶咧，咁亦都好飲，佢加啲 lime 落去啦，咁亦好似汽水咁，但係冇糖啊，因為佢係氣嚟㗎嘛，咁呢個亦都係 OK 嘅。So 你可以試下去呢個特別啲嘅東西嚇，用有氣加去糖茶，佢只係唔係加水去沖，即係沖咗去糖即係加呢啲汽水落去，但係冇甜嘅汽水。So is the cold or hot tea better? Actually, it's no different. Cold, hot tea are the same. You can drink cold tea, hot tea. Lowsutea, for example, has no effect. Matter of fact, majority of my American friends drink the tea actually is icy cold. And they make the 2 bottles at nighttime. And the next day, they just take 1 bottle or 2 bottles to work. And they love it with cold. Iced tea, really good. As I mentioned, some even become more very interesting. They put iced tea instead of mixing with regular water. They put sparkling water to make it more interesting. That's absolutely good. And some even put lime, even better. So they have do that. Is diet soda good? Okay, question, diet soda is really not good. Reason, diet soda, although it doesn't have carb, but the problem is trick your brain and say, I need sugar. So a lot of time after you drink diet soda, your brain will start saying, I need sugar, I need sugar, sugar. So you got to start eating other sugary to compensate that diet sugar. So do not drink Diet Coke because that is actually help you to get more desire to get sweet, okay? So diet sugar is not good for you. Is there a good way to get rid of the belly fat, okay? Belly fat, the best way to get rid of it is exercise and not to eat all these, fatty food. And that, like we mentioned earlier, you got to eat fish, not red meat, all the creamy stuff, get rid of that. Your belly eventually will go smaller. And on top of that, if you exercise, even better, because it will burn off all the fat eventually. And also, you got to keep lower your weight, your belly will go smaller. And when you do that, you achieve that goal. And that's the only way to do it. It's not mean that I take some medication, get rid of belly. It doesn't work. You have to change your lifestyle. Food and diet. Less fat food, a lot of fibers, a lot of all the good stuff that you just now talk about 11 items. That will help you to lower your belly fat. Okay? 各位朋友，頭先講咗啦，就如果食單曲咧唔得嘅，因為單曲係話呢個名，我需要啲糖啊，咁你食多啲糖咧唔正仔。但係好重要咧，就要愛啲咩啊？要愛啲如果你話 個 belly fat 好大嘅 belly fat 咧，咁你就要 basically 咧，要好似我11個 weight 咁啦，就唔好食咁多啲紅肉啊，食啲魚啊，唔好食個 fat 啊，係我幫助你嘅。The last but not least is that medication to lower your triglyceride. Well, the doctor can actually look at that because there is really no natural medication for you right now. You have to really get prescribed the doctors. So you need to ask the doctor to look into what kind of medication will be good for you at that. So, okay. So I hope that I answered all your questions. I appreciate you continue. Wow, there's a lot of people today to really, attend this webinar. I appreciate that. And I really felt that if we can able to change our lifestyle and lower, your weight, lower your triglyceride, your body will feel better and you'll feel much more energetic and much more healthier. So keep up the good work and continue to strive for better health through dieting, exercising, cut off all the junk food, and lower your weight, you will feel much healthier. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your time on your busy Saturday schedule and learn about webinar, and you will be actually better health. Thank you again. You take care. I'm Andrew Lau signing off. Thank you. Have a great weekend.